few weeks ago I saw an incredibly interesting programme. It was part of the Louis Theroux series, and he spent some time with Stormzy. It was interesting insight to someone else's life, as Stormzy shared a lot about his music, his upbringing, but also his Christian faith. It was exciting for me seeing someone speak so openly about their Christian faith on such a mainstream TV programme. However, there were times when the language that Stormzy used wasn't the sort of language I'd normally attribute to a Christian. There were many times he used the F word. In fact, just the fact that I'm saying F word and not the actual word itself shows how much that has become a part of who we are as Christians, the language that we use. And I wonder why I was so offended by his language. And yet I also wonder if I were going to live in the place that he grew up, in the context of a rap culture, whether my language would be the same as his. I started to consider maybe the things that perhaps I do that others might find a little less conducive with Christian faith than theirs. Perhaps it's an attitude I have, or an opinion I hold firmly. Maybe it's even aspects of my Christian faith that doesn't completely line up with someone else's view of what that Christian faith should look like. Certainly over the last few years, as I've worked to develop Mind the Gap Ministries, I've encountered those that don't attend church, as well as many that do. And I come across so many conflicting opinions. I've many times had cause to question why I think what I think. I've encountered time and time again people that don't think the same way as me. Some because they have no faith, but also, at times, those that do. And I've been reminded of Matthew 7, which says, "Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, 'Let me take the speck of dust out of your eye,' when all the time there is a plank in your own? You hypocrite. First take the plank out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to take the speck of dust from your brother's eye." As I started to consider this, I wondered what it might be like to spend a day with Stormzy, to hang out with him and have those conversations I'd love to have, to ask questions about his faith, to see what common ground we have, or maybe which ways we think differently. But you know, my biggest reflection was this. Here is a well-known celebrity that comes from a culture, the rap scene, that is anything but Christian, and yet he is making a bold statement that he is a Christian. In fact, many, many people have listened to his lyrics, some of which speak about his faith. Many have seen interviews with him or statements he's made in the media, all testifying that he's a Christian, that he attends church and that he loves Jesus. And perhaps better than I can describe. Instead of being offended by a language, I should be inspired by his passion. And the best way to get a feel for the faith that we both share is maybe the lyrics to one of his most famous songs, "Blinded by Your Grace," in which millions and millions have watched on YouTube. The lyrics of the song go like this. "I said a prayer this morning. I prayed I would find a way. To another day I was so afraid. Till you came and saved. You came and saved me. And the rain was pouring because the sun faded away. Now I'm in a better place, no longer afraid. Blinded by your grace, you came and saved me. Lord, I've been broken. Although I'm not worthy, you fixed me. And blinded by your grace, you came and saved me." And you know, as I considered what the lyrics were saying, I'm so glad there's a Stormzy in this world. As I thought about those lyrics and I thought about the programme I watched, I reminded of that passage that I read earlier. And you know, I thought instead of being offended, I should be looking at the common ground that we have, the common faith that we share. The song that Stormzy wrote, that as I said millions have watched, is an awesome song. On the left of this page there's a link to a duet that he does with Ed Sheeran, and if you want to watch it, it's a version of his song that they do together. The song actually starts at 1 minute 50, and let me tell you, it's absolutely awesome.